In one of his final acts of service to Aotearoa, the late Sir Toby Curtis issued a powerful reminder that the work to build an equitable society in Aotearoa must continue. The book, said to be an honest first-hand exploration of Tā Toby's decades of service to the country, minces no words about colonisation, was completed in his final weeks and launched to whānau, friends and close colleagues in Rotorua over the weekend. Tā Toby Curtis, no Ngāti Rongo Mai, Ngāti Pikiao, is the son of the late Sir Toby Curtis and is with us now. Tēnā koe ahoa, thanks for joining us.
Kia ora, Neil.
Now, as his son, where would you say your dad made his greatest contributions?
I think te reo Māori revitalisation has been a big passion for a very long time. But I think that said, there are other ways in which I think was equally important that he did, and that was his ability to turn a meeting around. And he was so articulate that there were many kaupapa, not just about te reo Māori, but about promoting Māori development, and that he was in rooms with people who had really clear agendas, and they were, some were overt, some were covert, but he had an ability to turn people around in the meeting, especially the rednecks out there. And so I think that was the unspoken genius of Dad, was his ability to really articulate clearly and bring people with him as opposed to hammer them over the head. So he got a lot done because he was so eloquent speaking.
Peter, what are some of the ways Sir Toby influenced your life?
Well, as kids, we didn't see a lot of him, so we just knew he was out there fighting the fight. So for all our lives, I guess, we knew he was battling on our behalf and on all Māori behalf. And so even though we didn't see a lot of him, we knew what he was up to. And I guess in reading the book, a lot of the conversations he brings up in the book were conversations we had at our dinner table. And certainly we got to road test his theories often because we all were very opinionated, and it was a bit like a jousting match, but wasn't just one-on-one. It was like there's three other siblings of mine and we were just jousting him and each other at dinner tables. It used to get quite heated, but never went more than that. But it reminds me of a lot of those conversations at dinner that Dad has often talked about, his learnings at the time.
And the book, Unfinished Business, Ki Hea A Pōpō, how does this challenge people?
Well, he does talk about, the history of racism, and which is racism/colonisation, and really highlights in detail, the education policies that really disadvantage Māoris. So along with those, detailing history about it, it's quite confronting for, I guess, people who are not aware of it to realise how shockingly New Zealand government and New Zealand Pākehā behave towards Māori and still do. And he highlights, his run-ins with small-minded people. And I think the process of colonisation, he really hits home on a lot of that. But the other thing that I think, that he's brought up in this book, which I quite enjoyed reading about, was his departure from religion and how he sees that religion, the Catholic Church, all the churches, how they have demonised and subjugated and destroyed a Māori way of being, and have continued to be someone to block our progress because of their beliefs.
What do you hope people will learn from this book?
We've got work to do, not just Māori. This is about Pākehā coming to the table. Monoculturalism, and these are my words, is really a liability to the future of Aotearoa as opposed to being an asset. Monoculturalism slows down progress. It's where racism is fostered within lack of understanding. And so I think that's the challenge for all of us, is to do more to fight these old ways of being, and still they're not realised, even though we've come a long way, and it's lovely to see Māori being used a lot more by Pākehā, which is really heartening. But there's so much more to go, and the reason we can tell is that our stats in every aspect of living in Aotearoa, Māori are at the bottom of the heap. And so while that's happening, it means we haven't actually achieved what we're wanting, and certainly Dad hasn't achieved what he was hoping for.
Tā Toby Curtis, son of the late Dr. Tā Toby Curtis, thank you so much for joining us today. Ngā mihi nui, love to the whānau.
Kia ora, Neil. Tēnā koe.